Hey guys, I just wanted to address where my channel was going really quick. I know every day is kind of like something different. Like some days I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do a vlog. Then other days I'm like, cook with me videos. Like, and now today and other times I've done like sit down videos. My channel is just kind of a catch-all for anything lifestyle, so pretty much whatever I'm feeling, I'm just gonna post about and things like that. I just want there to be kind of something inclusive for everyone on my channel, that you can relate to a little bit of something. If you're into vegan food and cooking, I have that for you. If you're into kind of serious or funny topic discussions, that's for you. If you like story times, I have that also. And just, that's all I want to say. Because as people, we're all multifaceted, right? Like I do enjoy channels where it's just kind of honed in on one specific topic, like beauty or music, but I feel like those channels kind of die out over a longer period of time and you can kind of see their passion's not really in it. If I kind of feel just free to do whatever I want, I feel like people will relate to that. So on to the topic of today's video, my mental health. The last couple years have been especially hard for me. I discussed actually in my 13 Reasons Why video that I have been diagnosed as clinically depressed and I have been put on medication. So I have sought out medical intervention for this. I've dealt with denial and shame for many years relating to this, and I even have some qualms about putting this video on the internet for all the world to see, but you know what? I've decided that depression isn't something that I can change, and I'm not gonna have shame in that. Mental illness is nothing to be ashamed of, and I want anyone watching this to realize that. My depression began in middle school. I just felt kind of all consumed with the changes that were happening to me. I was going through puberty, and I felt really alone in that process. Also, I was being really heavily bullied for the way I looked, and just because I was generally weird. I like to read things like manga and really intense like adult themed books like Jane Eyre, which weren't even like mandatory to read until later in high school. I didn't date boys, I wasn't really a girly girl, so I was a prime target for bullies. What came with a lot of my feelings of worthlessness was a lot of shame. I didn't really tell anyone how I was suffering. When I entered high school, things kind of got better for me. I developed more into the person that I am today, and the bullying completely stopped. And even though the bullying stopped, I still wasn't happy. I've only been in a handful of relationships, all of which have been long-term, and that began in high school. And even though I had felt a love that I'd never experienced before, I still like couldn't wrap my mind around that I deserved anything like that. One minute or one day I would be really madly in love and we'd be having a great time, and then the next I would be doubting myself as a partner and doubting our compatibility, and because things never work out for me in my mind. Like when things are going well for me in any area of my life, whether it be relationships or school or work, there's always this nagging sense in the back of my mind that's like, this won't last forever. And it's not like one of those things where, oh, like there's different seasons in life and you're gonna have good times, you're gonna have bad times. Like, no, this voice was more like,
you are undeserving of this moment and you will be sad again, just you wait.
Fast forward to present day, or more like the last couple of years, I experienced a life event that I don't really want to get into, it's extremely personal, but this event turned my easy existence completely upside down. And this may be difficult to follow as I'm trying to like give this issue some privacy and anonymity, but anonymity but try to just like follow me here. On a side note, I just want to say that I live a generally privileged existence, but no one is immune from mental illness. So I started to have a lot of problems, like relationship problems, familial problems, and I tried to be positive about it for a while, but eventually it just kind of dug me deeper and deeper into this hole. And this was the first time I sought help from a therapist or a counselor. So I went back to my normal routine, thinking that the problem would fix itself on its own. And it did. A few months ago I had my first panic attack and it literally felt like I would die. My anxiety was at an all-time high and my depressive episodes were becoming more and more frequent and intense. I was staying closer where I was going to school at the time, and I made the decision to move back in with my parents, which caused a whole slew of other problems. Not that I don't love my parents, but I now am living in a place that I hadn't been living for the last like 2 years, and I didn't even have the comfort of going back to the place that I grew up because my parents had moved. Because of this like sudden move, and I just had graduated college, I was out of work, everything was just kind of piling on top of me. Not to mention there was very like little social interaction happening because I wasn't around any of my friends and we moved to a new location. Within the last few months, my mental health really reached an all-time low since middle school. I stayed up all night and slept most of the day. When I first moved, I wasn't eating that much at all and dropped a lot of weight. And then in the last month or so, I kind of transitioned to eating way more than I needed to. And also drinking more heavily than I should be. I would put the heated blanket on my bed and just be lost like in my thoughts for hours. I would have thoughts that ranged from like, what am I doing? I'm everything up. I'm not worthy to be in this world. Stupid. My existence is making everyone else's life more complicated. And though I logically knew that these things weren't true, it didn't stop my emotions from literally destroying me. After a few months of like messy sleep patterns and feeling no motivation to do anything, overeating, undereating, and the endless self-loathing, I decided to seek medical help. I planned an appointment with my general practitioner under the guise of insomnia, which was true. This doctor's appointment, I really feel like changed my life. The nurse was just asking me general questions and I just burst into tears because I knew the real reason that I was there, and then she knew too after I had done that. And she assured me that she was there to help me. And I know that going to a medical professional was something that feels really like icky and like a personal problem, like that you should be like talking to like your friends about or something, like that's just like weird to do, but I promise you it is for your benefit. It's so worth it. So the doctor ran a bunch of tests on me. I got a blood test and she put me on a very low dose of antidepressants. I'm on an SNRI. I can truly say that I feel like the me that I've always dreamt of being, and that sounds so crazy to say right now because I've only been on this medication for about 3 weeks, but I felt almost instant relief when I took it. And I definitely do have some off days, like I'm still kind of in the beginning, like transitional period of my body getting used to it. But when I wake up in the morning, I'm so chipper and like ready for my day. I'm like inspired to work on things like this channel and flourishing my relationships. And after work some days, I feel like working out. Like this morning I worked out. I would never have wanted to do that before. I was trying to ride my bike just to keep myself active. Like I've literally tried everything. That's why I sought the medical attention. I've been exercising. I eat a predominantly vegan diet. I'm tried to meditate. I've done it all. And like, this was my last resort. And now when I exercise, I feel those endorphins pumping and I'm sweating and it feels good. Before I couldn't even ride my bike for like 15 minutes without being exhausted. I'm also like weirdly clean now. Like my whole life I've always been like a hot mess. Like just my room, like I take off my clothes, I leave it on the ground. And I leave dirty dishes and I'm just like gross. But every morning I've been making my bed. My car is like creepily clean. Everything I do, I'm like meticulously folding. Like when I take my clothes off, I fold them, I hang them back up. It's like crazy. And I guess it's true that like how you keep your space is a representation of like what's going on in your mind. I truly like always thought that I was lazy, and I've had people tell me this in the past. And it's not true. Like, I'm not lazy. This whole experience has taught me that I have motivation. It was just being blocked by something I couldn't control. If any of you want like a more in-depth video about the medication I'm taking and the side effects and like what I've experienced thus far, I kind of want to wait until I've been on it for like 6 weeks or more. I'd be extremely happy to do that because there's tons of like varying reports of antidepressants. And per my doctor's recommendation, I'm going to start therapy hopefully within the next month. Even though I feel pretty good. Like right now I feel like I'm like not like on the peak of the mountain, I'm like right here, but like I feel really good, but I still feel like there's stuff that needs to be worked on, and hopefully seeing a therapist like twice a month or something will get me to that place. And I don't know if I'm gonna like them or if I'm gonna like the experience, but I'll maybe keep you guys updated on that. Sorry that this was such a long video. I just wanted to convey a message that depression is not your fault. I really thought long and hard about even making this video, and I decided like there's no reason to be ashamed. And please do not wait for yourself to get so sick that you end up in the hospital from a mental breakdown or end up hurting yourself. Like, I feel like people oftentimes wait. They're like, I'm not sick enough, I'm fine. Only like crazy people go and get medical help. Only crazy people get put in the hospital. Like, stress will eat you alive, and depression and anxiety, and these things are not your fault, and you need to go get the medical help that you need before it becomes something that you literally are completely like out of your control with. I know it's hard, but there's resources out there. If you're really interested in mental health topics, one of my favorite channels is Katie Morton. She does like therapy videos. Like, she is a licensed counselor, I think, and she does really good videos. She has tons of them, so anything that you're struggling with, she has a video on. I'll be back with a less gloomy content in the future, but I feel like sometimes we just need to like reel it in, because this like a happy, like goofy exterior isn't my constant. It's not who I am all the time. Have a great day, everyone. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.